The night should have been quiet, calm, predictable, but nothing about tonight felt right. Maya Carter felt the first tug of fear the moment she stepped out of Rosie's diner, letting the door fall shut behind her. The neon sign hummed above her, flickering in shades of blue and pink, but the comforting glow did nothing to calm the uneasy chill crawling up her spine. She adjusted her backpack, heavy with textbooks she couldn't afford and a future she was fighting for, and told herself she was imagining it. Just another late shift. Just another lonely walk home along the dim highway. Until she heard footsteps. Slow at first, then matching her pace, then getting closer. She didn't turn around right away. Maya had lived long enough as a black woman in this town to know that sometimes looking back was an invitation. Sometimes it gave them permission. Instead, she kept walking, pulling her phone out and pretending to scroll. The street was empty except for a few passing cars, none of them slowing down, none of them noticing her. Of course they don't stop, she thought bitterly. They never do. She exhaled, trying to shake it off. Her mama's voice echoed in her head. Keep your head down, baby. Don't give nobody a reason. Then she heard her name. Soft. Drawn out. Wrong. Maya! Her heart slammed against her ribs. Only a handful of people knew her schedule, and none of them would be lurking in the shadows at midnight. She forced herself to turn. The man stood under a flickering streetlight, hoodie up, posture slanted, lips twisted into a smile that made her skin crawl. She recognized him instantly. He'd been sitting in the diner earlier for nearly 2 hours, staring, barely touching his coffee, just watching her. She told Rita, the manager, but Rita had waved her off. He's a paying customer, Maya. Don't start trouble. But this time, she knew. This one wasn't harmless. Hey, he called out again, walking toward her with a slow, deliberate confidence. You forgot something. Maya didn't answer. She took 2 steps back, then turned and started walking faster. Her breath was tight in her throat. The diner was too far to go back. Her apartment was a 15-minute walk, and the road ahead, empty. Her fingers fumbled with her phone. She tried to dial 911, but her hands were shaking so badly she dropped it. The screen cracked against the pavement. No, 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 no! Maya, don't you hear me? His voice sharpened, losing the fake friendliness. She quickened her pace. He quickened his. The tension snapped. Maya broke into a full sprint. The sound of his shoes pounding the pavement behind her sent a surge of panic through her chest. She tried to breathe, but each inhale felt like needles stabbing her lungs. The night was too quiet. His shoes were too loud. "Stop running!" he yelled, furious now. "I just want to talk. I'm a nice guy." Liar. She didn't need to hear more. Her legs burned as she ran, desperate for anyone, anything, any sign of life. Until she spotted movement ahead. Bright headlights, the low thumping bass of rock music, voices shouting, laughter. A group of bikers stood gathered outside an old roadside garage, their motorcycles lined up like a metal wall. Leather vests, tattoos, boots, beards, smoke curling through the air. Everything her instincts and every warning she had ever received had told her to avoid. Rough, intimidating, dangerous. Her fear spiked for a different reason now. She skidded to a stop for a half second. The stalker was still behind her, but the bikers looked like the type who'd laugh at her, ignore her, or worse. They'll probably think I'm the problem, she thought, panic rising. A black girl running at them in the middle of the night. They'll think I'm dangerous. They'll think I'm trying to rob them.
She glanced back. The man was only 20 feet away now, grinning like the chase excited him. God, please. She had no choice. Maya ran straight toward the bikers, her heart hammered as their heads turned in her direction. 8 men, all staring at her like she'd crashed into their world uninvited. Under the harsh white garage lights, they looked bigger, rougher, and far more dangerous than any man she'd ever met. One of them, a tall guy with a thick beard and a skull tattoo creeping up his neck, stepped forward slightly. His dark eyes narrowed, unreadable. "You lost, sweetheart?" he asked. His voice was deep, careful. Maya stumbled to a stop in front of them, chest heaving, fear gripping her throat so tightly she could barely speak. She saw the way they looked at her, curious, suspicious, guarded. She knew what they were thinking. She'd seen that look 1,000 times before. She doesn't belong here. What does she want? Is this a setup? "Help! Please!" she gasped, backing up instinctively as their stares intensified. Someone's following me." For a long, terrifying second, none of them moved, none of them spoke. They just looked at her, like they were trying to figure out if she was telling the truth or if this was some kind of trap. Behind her, she heard gravel crunch. The stalker stepped into the light. His smile vanished the moment he realized she wasn't alone anymore. But it was too late. She'd already run to the one group he probably never expected to see. The biker stared coldly at him. He stared back, frozen. Maya stood between two dangerous possibilities, pulse thundering in her ears. She didn't know which one scared her more. One of the bikers, the one with the skull tattoo curling up his neck, shifted his weight, eyes flicking between Maya and the man behind her. "Is he bothering you?" he asked slowly. Maya swallowed hard. "Yes." The stalker laughed awkwardly, raising his hands. "Nah, man, she's confused. I know her. We were just—" "Shut up," another biker growled, stepping forward. The stalker's bravado cracked. He took a small step back. Maya's stomach twisted. She didn't know if she'd made the smartest decision of her life or the dumbest mistake imaginable. These men looked capable of violence, real violence, the kind people don't walk away from. What if they turn on me instead? What if I've only traded one danger for another? The bikers continued staring at her stalker with the kind of coldness that made the hair on her arms rise. One flicked his cigarette to the ground, another cracked his knuckles, and all Maya could think was, "God, what have I done?" The stalker took another step back. The bikers took one forward. Maya's pulse thundered in her ears. This was it. She had no idea what was about to happen. She didn't know if she'd be protected or trapped. All she knew was she had run to the wrong group for help. Or had she? Continuing exactly where Chapter 1 ended. For a moment, everything stood still. The night air felt heavy, like the world itself was holding its breath as Maya stood surrounded by a wall of leather, muscle, and roaring silence. The biker's cold eyes were fixed on the stalker, and the stalker, sweat forming at his temple, trembled just enough for Maya to notice. He hadn't expected this. Honestly, neither had she. The tallest biker, the one with the skull tattoo curling up his neck, stepped forward, placing himself directly between Maya and the man who chased her. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't wait for an explanation. Instinctively, the rest of his crew formed a loose circle, shielding her like they had done it 1,000 times before.
"Back up," the skull-tattooed biker said quietly. It wasn't loud, it wasn't angry, but the calmness in his voice made the stalker freeze like a cornered animal. I don't want any trouble," the man stammered, hands still half raised. "She's lying. I don't even know her like that." The bikers exchanged glances, the kind that spoke louder than words. They didn't believe him for a second. Another biker, broader and older, stepped out from the group. His beard was streaked with gray, and his leather vest bore a red patch that said, "Vice President." "So you just happened to be following a woman alone at midnight?" he asked. His tone was steady, but his eyes were sharp. The stalker swallowed hard, searching for a lie that didn't exist. I was heading home," he tried. "She ran for no reason, man. I think she's confused." Maya's voice finally pushed through her fear. "He followed me from the diner," she said, breath shaky but firm. "Sat there for 2 hours, kept staring. I told the manager. She didn't listen." The stalker's face twisted into panic. "She's making that up! I'm not—" "Shut up," the skull-tattooed biker muttered, stepping dangerously close. The man shut up immediately. Maya had seen tough guys before, but this was different. These men weren't trying to scare her. They were trying to protect her, and they hadn't even confirmed her story yet. They just knew. Because in their world, danger was something you could sense, not analyze. But then one of the younger bikers, a guy with a shaved head and a scar above his eyebrow, shifted uncomfortably. "Yo, Reaper," he muttered to the skull-tattooed leader. "This ain't really our problem, man." The leader, Reaper, turned slowly, his jaw tightening. "Not our problem," he repeated, voice low and dangerous. "My sister was stalked once. You know what happened when nobody helped her?" The younger biker looked down. She's still afraid to walk alone at night," Reaper said. "So yeah, it is our problem." Silence. The younger biker nodded, stepping back into formation. The vice president leaned closer to the stalker. "You got a name?" The stalker shook his head. I don't have to tell you anything." "You don't," the VP agreed, "but we can tell when someone's lying." Another biker, lean tattooed arms, cigarette hanging from his lips, flicked open a pocket knife, not pointing it, just spinning it casually between his fingers. The implication was enough. The stalker's breathing grew quick and shallow. "Check his phone," Reaper said. The knife biker grinned. "Good idea." "Wait, no!" The stalker stammered, but the VP was already reaching for his pocket. The stalker jerked back, but two bikers grabbed his arms. The VP pulled out the phone, unlocked it, no password, and scrolled. His face darkened. "Pictures," he said quietly. "Of her. From tonight, from weeks ago." Maya's stomach dropped. Her legs almost gave out. "Weeks? You've been following her for weeks?" Reaper's voice was ice. The stalker's face drained of color. She smiled at me once." "And you think that's permission?" the VP snapped. "To stalk her? To take pictures without her knowing?" The knife biker stepped closer, not touching him, just close enough that the man stumbled backward into a motorcycle behind him. The metal clanged loudly, and he jumped like he'd been electrocuted. "Look at her," Reaper said, pointing toward Maya. "You scared her half to death. That enough for you?" The stalker's voice shrank. I didn't mean—" "Say it," Reaper demanded. "Say what you were doing." His throat bobbed. I was following her. Why?" I don't know, man. She was nice to me." "And you think being nice means she wants you? That she owes you attention?" He took another step, towering over him. "Say—"
The stalker trembled violently. I was stalking her." Silence. Only the distant rumble of motorcycles and Maya's breathing filled the air. Reaper leaned down. "You ever come near her again," he said softly, "and we'll make sure you can't follow anyone. Understand?" It wasn't shouted. It wasn't exaggerated. It was a promise delivered like a verdict. The stalker nodded rapidly, stumbling backward. I won't, I swear. I'm done. I'm leaving." "Run," the VP said. "Now." The man didn't need to be told twice. He turned and sprinted into the dark like the devil himself was behind him. The bikers watched until he disappeared from sight. Only then did they finally relax, shoulders dropping, hands unclenching. Maya exhaled shakily. Her knees weakened beneath her, and she pressed a hand to her chest, trying to slow the storm inside her. For the first time since the chase began, she felt safe. Reaper turned toward her. "You all right?" The gentleness in his voice shocked her more than anything else tonight. Yeah, thanks to you guys." The VP gave a small nod. "Nobody lays a hand on a woman when we're around. Not on this road, not ever."
Their code, their honor, something she never expected from men who looked like this. Maya swallowed hard, guilt pressing against her ribs. "I'm sorry. I thought you'd hurt me too." Reaper actually smiled, a small, tired, but real smile. Most people think that, especially when they see a black girl running toward a bunch of white bikers. Maya's breath caught. He'd said it, acknowledged the elephant in the room. "We get it. You had every reason to be scared. Of him, of us, of everything." The knife biker chuckled softly. "We look scary. Doesn't mean we are." Maya felt warmth spread through her chest, replacing the fear that had consumed her all night. Her heartbeat steadied, her breathing softened. These men weren't the monsters she'd imagined. They were the unexpected guardians she didn't know she needed. The VP glanced at the dark road. "You live far?" "About 15 minutes. "That's a long walk after what just happened," Reaper replied. Then he nodded toward his motorcycle. "Let me take you home. Safe." The rest of the crew murmured in agreement. Maya hesitated only a second, just long enough to acknowledge the irony. She had run to them believing she'd made the worst mistake of her life, but she hadn't. She stepped forward, offering a grateful smile. "I'd really appreciate that." Reaper handed her a spare helmet, his voice softer than it had been all night. "You're safe now. We've got you." As she climbed onto the motorcycle, Maya realized something she'd never forget. Sometimes heroes don't look the way you expect. Sometimes danger comes in normal clothes and fake smiles. And sometimes protection comes in leather and tattoos, from people who understand what it means to be judged before you're known. The engine roared beneath them. The night opened up ahead, and Maya's view of people and what real heroes can be changed forever.